Hello and welcome to my channel. My name's Beth Ann and I am Stitching by Twilight. This is my first video, so it's probably going to be quite rough and I'm still a little nervous, so bear with me. It's a work in progress. We'll get there. I thought I'd start off with telling you a bit about my channel. It will be dedicated to cross stitch. There'll be some crochet throwing in when I feel the urge to do it. There'll be some reading, what's on my bookshelf, or more importantly, what's in my Kindle. And we'll just be sitting down and visiting with each other for a little while, and we'll go from there and see how it goes. I thought I would start off with the Know Your Needle Worker questions that I guess started in 2014 by Whimsy Daisical on YouTube. And I know a lot of floss tubers did it a couple of years ago, and it was a lot of fun to learn about each other in this really wonderful way. And since this is my first floss tube, I thought I would start off with that, and then we'll move into works in progress and all the other good stuff that we all love about this community. Okay, question number one is, where do you live? I live in Peabody, Massachusetts. I was born in Illinois, but moved here when I was 8. So even though I still consider myself an Illinois girl, I have been here much longer than when I lived in Illinois. What do you do for a living? I do not work. I am disabled, sadly. But when I did work, I was a nurse. I worked in the ER mostly. And then I did do some bouncing around on a few floors. And then I was also a charge nurse at a nursing home with my mother. And I miss it. It took me a long time to figure out what I was going to do with my career and which way I was going to go. And then I enjoyed it for 7 years, and then I couldn't do it anymore. So I miss it. I miss the helping people and making a difference, no matter how small in someone's life. That was always the greatest reward, and I really miss it. But it is what it is. Number 3, do you have any children? Sadly, no. That was never in the cards for me. But my children have fur, and I've had them throughout the years. And that segues actually into question number 4. Do you have any pets? And yes, I do. Her name is Bella. Her picture is actually on the avatar or little picture, profile picture of my channel. She will be 7. I adopted her in May of 2014 when she was around 11 and a half months old, they figured. So where we don't know her birthday is celebrated the day I got her. And she is a little diva. She knows it too. But she is the joy of my life, and she's the best thing. It's really nice to know that when I do go out and I come home, there's somebody anxious to see me when I come home. Question 5. What are your other hobbies besides stitching? I enjoy crochet. I like to make hats, and scarves. Right now I'm currently working on a throw blanket and then a larger blanket for my bed. But the larger blanket may have to just be a semi-large blanket because it's getting harder and harder to find the yarn that I picked out, and I have a feeling that they discontinued it and I don't know about it yet. So I'm working on that. Question number 6. What is your favorite movie? Oh boy. If I had to pick one, I think it would be Gone with the Wind. Just because I love the time period. I love the costumes, and it's just one of those grand Hollywood epics that you don't see anymore. It was just, it's an amazing movie. It's long, but I think everybody should see Gone with the Wind at least once in their lifetime. But it is, I think if I had to pick one, it would be that. But I like a lot of movies, a lot of different genres, comedies, romance, horror, not so much because I'm a big old scaredy cat. So we only do those in the company of many people, which doesn't happen very often either. So that's a genre that's kind of way in the back. If I have to, I have to. If I don't, that's even better. Question number 7. What is your favorite TV show? Oh boy. I would have to say Big Bang Theory. Since it stopped, Thursdays just don't seem the same anymore. Thank God for reruns and DVDs. But right now, Outlander, Walking Dead, which comes back on Sunday. I'm excited for that. And I'm also a true crime junkie, so I like anything Forensic Files, those kind of shows. I know Oxygen has turned into a true crime channel, and I like that channel a lot. So yeah, anything in that genre, and documentaries. I'm a big documentary person. I love watching stuff about World War II, stuff about the royal family, nature, documentaries, history, a lot of history. What is my favorite book? Question number 8. Again, that's a toughie. It's usually the book I'm reading at the moment. That tends to turn into my favorite. I just finished The Tattooist of Auschwitz. It was very sad, very gripping, and very compelling. That is a time period in our history that's very difficult to read about and watch, but it's an important part of history that needs to be talked about more. And I recommend the book. Have some tissues handy. I will say that you are going to need some tissues. But it was a very, very good book. I'm getting ready to start The Silent Patient, which on Virtual Stitchers, which I'll get into Virtual Stitchers a little more in detail in a minute. But there's a bunch of us that are reading it. There's a couple that have recommended it. So a handful of us are going to start to read it, and it just seems like a really, really good book. Carla, one of our fellow Virtual Stitchers, and also a FlossTuber, which again I will get into when I do shoutouts. She just finished it, and she was shocked at the ending. And so that made me really, I'm like, okay, I had another book in my queue waiting to read, and I'm like, that, I pushed silent patient up. I have to, yeah, that has to be the next one. What is my favorite music? Anything from the 80s, classic rock. I'm not a big fan of today's music. I'm really not. I'm 52 years old, so I sort of am an 80s baby. So 80s metal, Kiss. I've been a Kiss fan since I was 6 years old, and I don't ever see that ever changing. I always joke with my friends that I'm going to be 90 years old in the nursing home still listening to Kiss. And yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if it happened. I do really enjoy 40s music, the World War II era, big band, Frank Sinatra, Bing Crosby. I grew up listening to that with my grandmother, and it sticks. So anytime I hear, you know, a song from that time period, it's an instant flashback, scrapbook memory that pops up. Question number 10. What one word best describes you? Oh boy. I've had to think about this for a couple of days since I decided to start to do this. And I guess it would be honest. What you see is what you get. I'm me. This is who I am. This is what it is. And I'm honest. And I guess that would be the one word. If I was to think of one off the top of my head, it would be that. I'm not flashy. I'm not, you know, over the top and stuff. I'm just little old me. And what you see is what you get. Okay, that is the bit for the Know Your Needleworker. Thank you, Trisha, the left-handed stitcher, for making those questions. It's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun to watch the other floss tubers that have done it, and it's a little get to know you. And since this is my first, I thought I would start off with that. Okay, we're going to get into works in progress, what I'm stitching on. I'm in quite a few challenge groups, and as any of us know in that are in the challenge groups, we stitch on what the challenges tell us to stitch. So I'm just gonna put in, for this video anyway, what I've worked on in the last maybe 10 days, 2 weeks or so. I'm planning a whip parade video. I don't know when. I'd like to try it for maybe this weekend. That one will be a fairly long video. I'd like to try to keep my FlossTube videos under maybe 40 minutes if I can possibly do that. We're at 13 minutes now, so we'll see how that goes. But it's a goal, and goals are good. Okay, oh, and a word. I don't know how to edit yet. I'm gonna try to learn. Try is the magic word here. Normally our trash is done on Wednesdays, and the trash truck is just pulled up outside my window. It might get a little loud. I don't know if I'm going to be able to edit it out. I don't want to stop the video for fear that I would have to start all over again. And hopefully you can hear me. It won't be too long. But our trash day, like I said, is normally a Wednesday, but where Monday was a holiday here, it's bumped to Thursday. And I completely forgot about that when I sat down and decided to start filming. So ignore that sound if I can't get it edited out. But we'll see how it goes. I might be able to do it, but if not, I'll remember on holiday weeks not to do a floss tube on Thursday morning. Okay. As for challenge groups, I'm in quite a few, like I said. And I try to double dip and combine challenges where I can. So one of the challenge groups I'm in, which is Daily 30 and Cross Stitch Journal, it's Cheryl McKinney, Tranquil Stitchers, again, another floss tuber, which I'll get into later in more detail in shoutouts. It's a closed group. They're not accepting members right now. If that changes, a lot of us will let you know, because a lot of us are in those groups. Excuse me. And this year is leap year week. And basically we are having fun with frogs, which is not a good thing if you're a cross stitcher. But thankfully these frogs are cute, and I haven't been visited by the frog very often, which is a plus, because usually when frogs appear, strange things happen. So I had to stitch on something that I could relate to spring, autumn, or the sun. I chose to do, and again, pardon the Q snaps, I don't want to take any of these out of the Q snaps right now because they're set in a spot where I'm stitching. But in the whip parade, I'll try to have them all taken out and then put back in. A couple won't come out of the Q snaps, but as I said, I'm going to try to learn how to edit, and I can put where I was previously pictures down here when I learn how to do that. So, but for now, we'll just have to deal with them in the Q snaps, but you'll get a pretty good idea. So for this challenge, I chose Autumn Dream by Cottage Garden Samplings. I absolutely adore this chart. It is a simple and utter joy to stitch. And I love autumn. It's my favorite time of year. I was born in mid-October. So it's perfect. And this chart was a birthday gift. So I actually started it on the afternoon of my birthday. And I had to do 300 stitches, and I basically did a lot in the stem of the wreath, which this is the circle part of the vines. I did, where am I? These leaves, and now I'm working on this really pretty oak leaf, which is gorgeous. And this is all DMC. I did the DMC conversion, not the fancy floss. The only change I made is in the, there. I have to learn my righties and lefties. Is in the pumpkin. I loved the variegation. I don't know if you can really see it in the picture. Okay. But the variegation in the little pumpkin house was just stunning. And I didn't have the color in my stash. So I went through my Victorian motto and I tried to find one that had some variegation but wasn't like really shocking in the variegation situation. And I picked this one, and it's called I think it's Marigolds and Carrots. So you can't really see it in there, but it's got a slight hint of variegation, so it does give it that really pretty look. And it's stitched on 28 count Mushroom Lugana by Zweigart. And my needle minder is one of a set of two. You'll see the other one in a second, from Scout and Remy on Etsy. It's actually a Christmas plaid needle minder, but I love plaid. I feel it goes with autumn well. So okay, that's the first one. Put you over there. The second one was stitch on a piece you had to wait to start and explain your choice. And this is going to fall into quite a lot of challenges this week. I started this on February 10th. And the reason I had to wait is I ordered everything at the beginning of the month, and a lot of the floss is was back ordered on 123 Stitch, which is very rare because I've never really ran into that problem with the DMC. With with fancy floss and other things, sometimes they're back ordered, but I've never run into that with DMC. So this one was a wait, and I was getting frustrated, and I really wanted to start this. I've had the chart since Christmas of 2017, and thanks to Virtual Stitchers, they really pushed me because they're doing a sale for Hawk Run Hollow for the entire year. And I really wanted to start this one. And I have Halloween, and that's going to probably be started in April. I'm looking at that one. But I wanted to start Christmas first because of a few things. One, it's not seen very much. Halloween seems to be the most popular, with Village and the Map being the other two. So Christmas is not seen as much as the other ones, and the other ones are gorgeous. And I've got many on my list now because since I've started this, I understand what people mean by really enjoying stitching them, because I cannot put this one down. I absolutely can't put this one down. And I'm sacrificing, my full coverages are feeling like they're being the neglected children because I haven't really touched much of them. So yeah, the struggle is real. And then also, I am a huge Charles Dickens fan. I love his writings. I love his stories. I love everything. And A Christmas Carol is one of my top 10 favorite books. And the first time I saw this chart, it gave me the first impression that I saw came to mind when I saw the chart was Victorian Christmas, Charles Dickens, that Christmas Carol, that era. And this is what it will look like when it's all done. I'm not using the silks. I am doing the DMC conversion. I started with block 1, which is this one right here. Again, if I can figure out how to edit and insert pictures, I'll insert pictures of the finished block, but it's done. And I've moved on to the second block now. But it's a simple joy to stitch. I am loving it. And this is where I got yesterday. I completed the block here. When I was doing the first block, I had started, I went down this row here and then feathered off a couple, like 3 or 4 stitches here and here. And then I did the same thing. I don't know if you can really, yeah, you might be able to see it. Down here for the block that's below the first one, just so it would give me something to feed off of, and I would know my counts in that section were right. But this right here is 504 stitches. That's what I counted on last night. So I'm anxious this afternoon to get back to this because I really, really love it. A couple of changes that I made. The border of the blocks was supposed to be black. Whoops, there we go. Was supposed to be black, but I decided to use DMC 3371, the brown, black, kind of really dark kind of combination of both of them. I thought it lent itself a little bit better to the Victorian feel and aspect of it. And it looks really wonderful. And then the other change I made is I'm not using DMC 310, which is supposed to be this in the wrought iron fence. I'm using Anchor Black. I've always wanted to try it, and I've heard it covers a lot better. That and the white cover a lot better than the DMC ones do. And I wanted to give it a try because when I start Halloween, that takes a lot of black. And so far, I'm really liking the coverage. So when I go to get the floss for Halloween at Hawk Run Hollow, I'm going to substitute the DMC 310 for the Anchor Black. And then I've got Anchor White because there's a lot of snow in this block. It's like from maybe like here down is all white except for a few extra little things, but and we'll see how the white goes. But so far I'm really happy with it. I love it. It's so much fun. Now I know what everybody says and means by once you start at Hawk Run Hollow, you're not going to want to stop stitching it. And it's true. I don't want to put this down. It's on 28 count mushroom Lugana. I love that because it's neutral enough. All colors will really pop on it. You will have a problem with some close colors, like in my Autumn Dream, one of the colors on the bird is kind of like 2 shades lighter than the fabric, maybe. So it kind of blends a little, but from a distance, you don't notice it. If you're looking at it up close, you'll see it kind of blends. But I like it because it's neutral enough that everything pops, and it's not a dark neutral. It's a very light neutral, but it lends itself to vintage and stuff, which is what I lean towards. This is the other half of the needle minder from Scout and Remy. It's a cardinal. I absolutely love cardinals. So, and my grime guard is, I ordered it specifically for this. I'm kind of strange. I have a grime guard addiction. We won't talk about that too much, and I won't show them unless they're on a project, because yeah, it's I think I need an intervention. I'm not looking for one, but there could, possibly be the need for one eventually. They are from Jan King of Jan Stitching Necessities. She has a group on Facebook, and she does amazing work. I saved up and splurged and got a couple of project bags from her, and you'll see one of those in a minute when we get to another whip. But yeah, if you're looking for some really great grind guards, other than Garon totem bags, which theirs are beautiful and fantastic, Gary and Ronnie have this knack of finding the most unique fabric, and they're just stunning. But Jan's grime guards, they're the best, and she's one of the sweetest people ever. So that's that one. And then the next one is stitch on a whip that you can relate to Lord of the Rings in some way. Be sure to explain your choice. Okay, this was a little tough, but thinking back on it, it really shouldn't be tough because there's so much in Lord of the Rings that you could connect to other things because so much happens in the books and the movie. I chose, I will learn to have all this stuff out and ready. Like I said, we're a work in progress. It's happening, people. That's the most important thing. Never thought it would, but here we are. I picked Village Quaker from Jardin Privé. Again, I love Jardin Privé. Her charts they're really, really well done. They are easy to read. They're so much fun to stitch. So much fun. I have a couple of previous finishes that I'm going to share towards the end of the video. And I finished in December one of them, and as soon as I finished it, I had to immediately order another Jardin Privé because they are just a lot of fun. And then my reason for choosing this is because Hobbiton is a small village, and all these little houses here, they belong as part of a small village. And I I finished this section here, the flower, the snail, the tree, and then I worked over this way and stuff. So again, you can't see it because it's in the Q-snap, but I've completed the whole bottom section of the chart, and I'm working my way up into the middle now, and then there'll be the top section up top. This is done on 18 count antique white Aida. I'm still an Aida girl. I'm using even weave and I'm stitching on it and enjoying it, but I'm still a fairly new stitcher with it, so my confidence level for that is not as high as it is with Aida right now, but it's getting there. But yeah, I did make one color change to this. I had some leftover thread from Cat Lovers that I'll show you in a little while. So I decided, why not use it? So I've added it to the two grays that are here. Like this one is a really dark gray here, and then this is a really light gray, and then I've added the blues in intermittently mixed with the grays, and you can see it here and everything. And I think it looks great. It's got a lot of Quaker elements to it, and with Quaker, I've become addicted to that. We'll talk more about that in plans. But with Quakers, you can play around with the colors, and you can adjust everything to what fits and what looks good to you. And the other one that I've worked on this week is one of my full coverages. It's one of my favorite full coverages, and I have started a little, how do I put it, excitement, if you will, interest, that's a better word, interest in this chart. Like I said, again, I will find a way to insert pictures, but if I can't, I will give you a quick glimpse of what this one looks like. It is a quick stitch, Phantom of the Opera by Amy Stewart. It is from a snippet from a section of the Heroes and Heroines chart from Heaven and Earth Designs, and this is what it will look like. I am, whoops, that's another full coverage. I need to learn how to insert pictures. I'm completely done almost with this complete top row, but let's try it this way. Maybe that will be easier. Right here at the chandelier, right here, there's still not a complete full page, but it's like a full slash partial page, and it is loaded with Krynic. There's a lot of Krynic in that chandelier, and I needed a break from it, so I decided to reset it in the Q-snap, and I moved down here. Well, righty, lefty, lefty, righty. Back over here. Yes, I need to learn how to insert pictures because this is not going to work out well. In the opera seats over here. Yeah, right here. So I'm right in here, and I use Pattern Keeper, and normally I park and whatnot, but with this one, for some reason, Pattern Keeper is telling me to go in a different direction. So this is where I am now. It is technically page 6, but I started into the opera, and then for some reason I was planning just to go straight across the page like I normally do, but for some reason Pattern Keeper is telling me to go this way. So you do what Pattern Keeper tells you to do. It's the first lesson. But I absolutely love this. I started this in April of 2017. So this is my second oldest whip. Um, it's a lot of confetti, but it's a lot of fun. It's just, and I love Phantom of the Opera. So as soon as I saw this come out, I knew I had to get it and do it. And like I said before, seeing this, a lot of people on Virtual Stitchers have started it. Lisa, Carla, Isabel, um, talk about them in shoutouts too. Megan, Twin Mom Stitcher, has started it. Um, and there's some other people that are showing interest in it, but it's just, it's a joy to stitch. I absolutely love it. And I need to get back to it. Um, I think I need to figure out a way to, okay, I can stitch on this and then put it away and stitch on something else. But I have this habit of when I get addicted to something, I just want to stitch it until I um, I get tired of it, which is probably not a good thing because then if I have to use it for a challenge or something, it'll be harder to go back to it. But and speaking of that I mentioned before from Jan King. This is one of her bags that she had made from Fabric Nevermore. I have a very big addiction to ravens, so this was a must-have. Um, and it's a fun kind of, it's a Halloween, but it isn't Halloween. It's more goes with the story, The Raven, than it does with anything like that. Okay, that's works in progress. I do have a small finish that I finished last week. I haven't even taken it out of the hoop yet. This is the charity, the free charity chart that Sassy Jack's Stitchery did for the wildfire bushfires in Australia. And it just breaks my heart what's been happening in that beautiful country, between what the people have been going through, what the animals have been going through, what the ecosystem is going through. Um, it's just really heartbreaking. And thankfully, they're starting to get a handle on it from what I hear. And I felt the need to do this. And I have another chart in haul that is also a charity chart. But I have become great friends with quite a lot of the Aussie Stitchers on Virtual Stitchers. And I just had to do this. It was just not there was no thought to this. It was just find the stuff, put it together, and do it. So this is Aussie Friends. This is the free one. You can still get it on Sassy Jack's Stitchers on Facebook. I think that's the group. It's not many of the called for colors. I just put everything that looked good together and started stitching it, and I absolutely love it. I'm going to make it into a little, I'm going to get a wooden hoop, a small one, because this is probably like maybe less than 4 inches around, if that. And put some ribbon and get a nice, like, frou-frou it up a little. And I'm just going to hang it on the wall because it's beautiful and it's important, and it was a lot of fun, and it was quick. This is just a scrap piece of 18 count white Aida that I had. And then it was just, like I said, a bunch of floss from Stash. And there you have it. Now onto haul. I don't have a lot of haul. Where did my haul go? I lost my haul. Oh no, I didn't. It's hiding. Okay, I don't have a lot of haul. Some of the haul this month was the fabric and the rest of the floss for Christmas at Hawk Run Hollow. Grime guards, we've discussed that. We won't talk about them right now. And I did get a few charts that I'm on a auto ship for. And then the next charity chart, Aussie chart that I'm going to do. But I've started to get the charts for the new Country Cottage Needleworks Snow Village series. So I have the first two. I have the Snow Village and I have the Skate and Sled Shop. I think the Peppermint one is the next one. I'm waiting to start these until I get all of the charts, because this is the first one and you start from this. Everybody starts from this and then feeds off. I'm not a middle starter. We've tried that. It doesn't end well. So I prefer to start either in the top left, top bottom, work my way up, work my way down. It's much easier that way. And so I'm going to wait until I get all of them together, because I'm still undecided on what kind of fabric I want to use for this. I don't know if I want to go with a gray or a blue gray, or so that'll give me time to figure that out. And then I also got the Snowy from Hands On Design Chockfull. I just think these are the cutest little things, and they're just, you have to do them. I mean, look at the snowman faces. How can you not want to stitch the cute snowman face? It's just, it's adorable. And this will get done at some point. I have to get some black. And then the next one, again, if I can figure out how to insert pictures, I will insert a picture. If not, we're going to have to do this and hope the tablet cooperates. But I bought at the beginning of the month the, let me bring it up a little bit. There we go. The charity chart from Hands Across the Sea, Nicola Parkman, for the Australian relief efforts. It is Jane Marshall, age 10, 1857. It's not a great big chart, but it's beautiful, and I'm becoming addicted to samplers. We'll talk more about that in future videos, because market, hello people, this is the year of samplers for market. Every day I see something else and that gets added to the wish list. And like Sammy said on Virtual Stitchers last night, you people, my wish list is getting bigger. Absolutely true. But it's just, I love the colors. It's gorgeous. And I mean, it's a great cause. So it's, again, it was a no-brainer. Have to. I'm not sure, but I think Nicola Parkman said, and I've heard, that this is only going to be available till mid-March. And then I think she's going to pull it. I could be wrong. I would suggest go back to the video that Nicola Parkman did, Hands Across the Sea, about this sampler. Again, I'm going to try to figure out how to link things in the YouTube, in the comments below. If I can't figure it out, I'll learn. It's a work in progress. That is the key for everything. Works in progress. Okay, but yeah, I've heard that I think it's going to be gone by mid-March. So if you're really, really interested, I would highly suggest jumping on it now, because it's gorgeous. And I know there's a sale going on for it. Ellen Reed, Maximum Cross Stitch Power Hour. I know she's part of it. She's doing it. I can't remember the hashtag. If I can, like I said, if I can remember how to link below and everything, I will make sure I get all of that stuff. It might not be as soon as the video is uploaded. I might have to wait until after, but I'll try my best. Future videos, hopefully I'll be able to do that. But this is the first one, so everything is a learning curve. But I can't wait to start this. And this was part of my haul, as I said, this month. And I was waiting for the rest of the floss to come in because, again, I think 4 or 5 skeins of this were back ordered. It's going to be done on just a 28 count mushroom. You know, that's the word of the day, mushroom Lugana. And these are the colors, and they are just, they are just, I mean, simply stunning colors. And again, it flies into the, you know, what am I most attracted to in stitching right now? I love anything vintage. So this really, I mean, the colors, they're bright, but yet they're still have that vintage tone to it. And I think it'll just, on the mushroom, is it's dark enough that it will still make everything pop, but it won't look new and brassy, because the picture is just simply beautiful. And that's, I'm looking to start that hopefully soon. Okay. Shoutouts. Where do I begin? First and foremost, I have to give a huge, mega huge shout out to Virtual Stitchers, because without them, I would not be doing this right here. I joined them in July. I joined the Virtual Stitchers Facebook group in July. And I watched a lot of their videos on YouTube, from their old live videos that they put in the archive, and you can rewatch them. And then the homework videos when they started and stuff. Excuse me. Allergies. Go figure. And then I decided, okay, let's see how it works and do it. And I joined on October 2nd. And it's such a welcoming community. It's such non-judgmental. They welcome you with open arms. They are a wealth of information. And without them, this wouldn't be happening. Because they've made it seem like it's not as scary as you think it is. And I mean, don't be fooled. I'm sitting here terrified still, but I think it will get better as I go. I hope. So first and foremost, I wanted to give a huge shout out to everybody at Virtual Stitchers. From Sammy and Megan, who are the boss ladies, to Lisa and Vicky and Headmistress Vicky and Carla and Lisa Miller, Kiwi Lisa, so many. And I know I'm going to leave people out, and I don't want anybody to be offended if I do, because there's just so many of you, and I could be here for 5 hours. I could be here for 24 hours and talk about each and every one of you. And that would, I don't think people would want that. I don't think people want to look at me for 24 hours. That's just not going to happen. But that's my biggest shout out. I wanted to give a thanks to all of them. The admins, the people that run the channel, the people that just join in the channel and have fun. We laugh so much on there. And for people that, like me, are disabled, I choose not to go out unless I absolutely have to. It's a struggle sometimes to go out. I have a very bad back. So it's tough. And I can still interact with people, and we can still laugh and stitch and enable each other, which happens on a daily basis. I don't think there's a day that hasn't gone by that I haven't been enabled. I'm an enabler. Phantom of the Opera is case in point right there. But it's a lot of fun. And I just wanted to say a huge thank you, and I love you all so much. And without you, I would still be sitting here stitching by myself, and I wouldn't be doing a floss tube. God, who would have ever thought that? And then floss tubes that I've watched, I'm woefully behind. I'm so sorry. in my FlossTube. But the ones that I have watched in the last 2 weeks or so, the Novice Stitcher, Layla. She is a loved and treasured member of Virtual Stitchers, and she is such a sweet person. She has the most wonderful heart, and she's doing a cross stitch right now, a Hade actually, called Queen Elizabeth, and she is jamming along with that, and we cheer her every single second. We cheer her on. She's on track to have that finished in 2020, and go Layla, because you will have it finished and it will be stunning. I cannot wait to see her in all her glory, because every time you show an update and you show how far you've gotten, it's like, keep going. It's absolutely beautiful. Tranquil Stitches, Cheryl McKinney. She is the owner and enabler, and she tells us what to stitch in Daily 30. Love you. Her videos are wonderful. Her stitching is amazing. Craft Addict K. Miss Carla. This is Carla. She is also a virtual stitcher. She does a floss tube with her daughter Samantha, who's also a stitcher, but hasn't been stitching so much, especially since school started back up. And yes, Carla is my partner in crime. We enable each other and enjoy every second of it. We laugh a lot. Yeah, go check her out. And like I said, I'm going to try to get links to these in them, but I'm sure everybody that's going to watch this video knows who these people are, and they're pretty easy to find. And then Lisa, Aussie Lisa, our very own little Aussie, Shady Treez Stitchers. She is also now going to be known as Paddock Lane Designs, because she's dipped her toe into the designing pool, and they're amazing. Lisa, you rock. I love watching her. I love being with her on Virtual Stitchers. So much fun. The Slovak Farm. Laura Reed and her husband Joe. I cannot watch one of their videos without howling. Literally howling. They are the most adorable couple together. I love them to death. Sunshine Stitchers. What can I say about Sunshine Stitchers? Except for maybe if you want to drink, take a drink of something, bottle of water, whatever you drink, pause the video before you do. Because 9 times out of 10, you will either choke on what you've drunk, or it will, yeah. Gary, Sheila, EJ, and their often guests that they have, amazing. I just, absolutely amazing. Coffee Stitcher, Garrett, love his videos. He was one of the first videos that I actually started watching in FlossTube. And I know I'm going to leave people out, but I don't want to put like a million shout outs in one video. But these are just the ones that I've watched the last couple of weeks. Like I said, I'm very behind in my FlossTube, and I need to fix that. And then I want to give shout out to a couple of my favorite FlossTubers. They're ones that I always watch, and I tend to go back and rewatch their videos because they have a lot of great information and a lot of enabling. I think that's going to be like the word of the day. Never mind Mushroom Lugana. It's going to be enabling. That's the word of the day. Jessie Marie does stuff. What? is there to say about Jessie Marie? She's a rock star. My wish list has grown so huge because of her. She's the reason that I am really becoming addicted to wanting to do samplers. And I'm not a specialty stitch person. I can do a Smyrna cross. I can do a satin stitch. I can do all these other things, and I'm terrified to do them. But I want to start off small, sampler-wise, which is great with the hands-on design charity one, because it's small, but it's still a sampler, and maybe eventually I'll work up. Her in this moment that she is working on is, it's just so wonderful to see that come to life. And her Stitch with Me's, and then every time she shows a progress picture of that, it's like, wow. She totally gives meaning to creating a work of art, because it's just stunningly amazing. And Jennifer Upton from Upton Stitches, again, another one that I tend to go back and watch older videos, and yeah, give them all a look-see. You won't be sorry. You'll be very glad you did. Plans, finally. We're getting to the end, people. Ugh, said I wanted this to be a short one. We're at 56 minutes. Oh boy. Just continue working on Christmas at Hawk Run Hollow. And do what the challenges tell us to do. Yeah, what the challenges tell me to stitch is what I stitch. And I do have a couple of previous finishes that I did that I want to show, that I'm pretty proud of. And then we'll call it a day. And then I'll get this uploaded and figure out how to fix things. And yeah, hi. Okay. This one is one of my favorite ones. I don't have the chart anymore. I gave it away. But Cat Lessons for People from Lizzie Kate. There we go. This is done on 14 count vintage country mocha by Zweigart, and I absolutely love this. I didn't use any of the called for colors. I had just started getting Victorian motto threads, so I kind of went through and just picked out what went well with it, and I'm pretty happy with how it turned out. Forgive the wrinkles in these. I need to get a new iron, so yeah, don't mind the wrinkles. And this is the Jardin Privé that really got me into really liking Quakers, and wanting to do all the Quakers. That's going to happen in March, people. This is Cat Lovers from Jardin Privé. This is all the called for colors. Nothing was changed in this. All DMC. I think it's 8 colors. 2 shades of each color. Pink, the 2 blues, the 2 greens, and 2 browns. But this is just, I can't wait to figure out how I'm going to finish this. I know it's going to go in a frame. I just haven't figured out if it's going to be a shadow box frame, if it's going to be like a wood frame or a metal frame. I have to take it and do the, okay, let's see what looks best with it type thing. And something else may come to mind as well. This finish is, I'm extremely, extremely proud of this one for a multitude of reasons. This is my first Blackbird Designs, and it is also the first piece that I did on 28 count.